Live from the station that stands for you. This is KCTV5 News at 6 p.m.
A snowstorm leaves metro roads a mess. A crash involving several semis and other vehicles leaves I-70 in Missouri blocked all day.
And some city streets proved impassable without a little help.
Almost there.
Wait, wait. There's nothing you can do. It's best for you to stay in the truck, man. Oh, my Lord. Man. Oh, my Lord, bro. Somebody dead. Somebody dead, bro.
This is dramatic new video of that deadly crash on I-70 near Oak Grove. As it happened, a trucker involved in the early stage of the wreck started recording as car after car continued to slam into the pileup.
Multiple semis were involved, and tonight we know that at least one person has died. Our Betsy Webster will have more on this horrific crash that shut down I-70 for hours in just a minute.
It has been a real mess on interstates, highways, and local streets.
But at least for now, the snow has moved out. Right now, snow plows are working on both sides of the state line. This is a live look right now from Chopper 5, and snowplows have been able to make some progress. You're looking live right now at I-70. They've been able to clear some of that interstate to make it drivable, at least for the time being. And right now we have crews at the scene of two major wrecks on I-70, as well as local streets, to show you exactly what the roads are like right now, and also what drivers faced earlier today.
And we do not have long before we get another round of snow. So we want to begin with Storm Track 5 meteorologist Gary Amble on the snow and the cold, Gary.
Well, actually, the next snow event will be much, much lighter than the one that fell earlier today. Last of the flurries are kind of floating down to the ground right now. Your KB Complete City Cam. This is up by the airport area, where it looks to me like we have at least 3, maybe 4 inches of snow on the ground. A little closer to the heart of the metro, it's more like a 4-inch snow. Some pockets of 5 inches around the vicinity, but you can see what it did to the interstates, really slowing that drive down. So if you are planning on heading out this evening, I certainly wouldn't recommend that. The crews are going to be out in force. It's going to be tough to kind of crawl around the city anyway, so if you can, just stay inside this evening. Notice how the winter weather advisories have been lifted to areas just to our west. Right now, Kansas City is still included and anticipated to be there until at least 7 p.m., if not 9 p.m. Storm Track 5 live power Doppler radar. Last of the snow has just now cleared the metro area, right on target, but still eastern Jackson County having to deal with that snow. Odessa, you've got about another 45 minutes to go before the tail end of that snow arrives in your neighborhood. 14 degrees, no change since last hour, but it will once the sun goes down. 12 at 8, 11 at 9, and down to about 10 degrees by 11 o'clock tonight. It's going to be a cold start to the weekend, Ellen, and more snow is coming on Saturday. I'll tell you when and how much in your Storm Track 5 forecast coming up.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Gary. A pileup on I-70 near Oak Grove that we showed you at the top of the show left one person dead and several other people hurt. A viewer sent us this video here from when they drove past that scene earlier today. Our Betsy Webster is live near there now with more of the frightening video that we just showed you a few moments ago. It's video, Betsy, that just makes you gasp, and there was nothing those people could do.
Well, right. I want to show you here from on scene real quick what the traffic tie-up looks like. This is 6.5 hours later, and you can see all the traffic. With that video, though, that you were talking about, though, the really hard part with this is not just to see it, but to listen to it. That person taking that video inside a semi that was stuck, you could see or hear how helpless he felt, unable to stop it.
It's nothing that we can do. No. Oh, my Lord. It's nothing we can do, man.
The The woman eventually says to him, "We have to get out. We have to get out." He says, "No, you've got to stay in. It's just unsafe if you get out." It's just such a helpless feeling. He posted this on Facebook saying how sad he was to have witnessed it, especially knowing that someone has died. And you could tell from that earlier clip that he just had a sense of that as he was watching it. This happened at 11:38 today. The local fire department says there was something in the area of 40 vehicles involved. And again, though, currently now out here on the road, it does look like, I'll show you this here since we're out here, you can see that there is a lane of traffic that is starting to move there along I-70. Finally, some movement, but also up here, some people who are trying to get off on the exit ramp. Some of the semis have been stuck. That FedEx truck has been stuck there for at least half an hour. I've seen it stuck. So things are still icy enough that those semis are unable to get up that hill. Dare I editorialize just a little bit? If you're at home watching this, count yourself fortunate and stay there, because that video just shows you how quickly things can change. Reporting live in Bate City, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Boy, you are right about that, Betsy. Thank you. She's right, Ellen. I mean, It just illustrates you can do everything right when you're driving out in these elements, but if you get stuck and you're stopped, you're at the mercy of other people braking, and those people clearly couldn't brake because of the conditions.
Yeah, and the panic that you hear in their voices, you feel for them. But yeah, and knowing that one person died, it's just awful.
Absolutely terrible. Well, the heavy snow, as we've been showing you, made highways slippery. It cut down visibility so that drivers couldn't see the trouble ahead until it was too late.
And for much of the day, I-70 was closed in 2 spots because of those large pileups. The one in Oak Grove that we've just been talking about at mile marker 29, and then another near Concordia at mile marker 58. Our Stephanie Kaiser is live near the scene of that second crash. Stephanie.
Yeah, at least 20 vehicles were involved in this wreck, and one of those cars still here by the side of the highway, and you can see it is totaled. The roof is missing. The airbags have gone off. It's actually pretty hard to look at this. Now, we do know 2 people were hurt in the crash. Missouri Highway Patrol still doesn't know their conditions right now, and you can see tow truck starting to get one of these semis out of the westbound lanes here. They've been working here since 11:30, and they still have a lot of work to go. At least 6 tractor trailers were involved in this crash. And like you said, Ellen, this shut down I-70 for several hours. Now, the eastbound lanes are open and just one lane of the westbound lanes are. So they're working to get both lanes open, but that could still take a couple hours to get this completely clear. Now, we spoke with Colin Stotsberg with the Missouri Highway Patrol. He says the concern now is these freezing conditions. He's seen people slide off I-70 here all day, and he has advice for you if you do find yourself sliding off the road tonight or tomorrow.
If you do find yourself in a crash or in a slide-off, it's important that you stay inside your vehicle. If you're on the roadway, that's the worst place you could be. Get off the roadway. Wait for help to get to you.
Now, when this crash happened, Colin says it was near whiteout conditions. We were out here earlier and the snow had stopped falling. Now it's starting to pick up again. So just make sure if you do need to venture out tonight to slow down, keep your distance behind cars and stay safe. We are live tonight along I-70. Stephanie Kaiser, KCTV5 News.
Thank you, Stephanie. There were also problems heading north from Kansas City. The Clay County Sheriff's Office shared these pictures from I-35 near Holt, where semis slid off the highway. I-35 southbound from 92 highway was closed for more than an hour, but then reopened right around 3 o'clock.
Well, traffic, as we've been reporting, has been a complete nightmare.
Yeah, things have improved since then with the snow ending and plows out doing their job, but there are still problems out there. Bill Hurlbrink is here with a current look at our traffic tonight. Bill?
Yeah, guys, we're still seeing a handful of problems out around the metro. This is in Olathe, northbound I-35 at 119th Street. Seeing a lot of inbound traffic here during the evening time. I know there's some events happening downtown Kansas City, Missouri. We're still seeing a lot of traffic heading for downtown this evening. 69 Highway, 151st Street. Talk about another save for some of those median guard cables. It looks like people slid from the northbound lanes, almost approaching those southbound lanes at 69 Highway in Overland Park. Northbound here on I-49. I-39. This is going to be at 163rd Street. Still a lot of activity in that northbound lane. Now more those southbound lanes getting by, though, but still northbound very slow out of the Peculiar area, headed up towards Belton and Raymore. And then one final look here, another accident working 435 near 210, just to the north of the Missouri River, and just still seeing a lot of slow traffic out there, Brad and Ellen, as folks are heading home this evening.
Yeah, it's a busy and dangerous night out on the roads. Thank you, Bill. Well, although the snow has mostly stopped, many streets and roads do remain in bad shape.
And Storm Track 5 meteorologist Alina Lee is live now with our mobile weather center monitoring the roads. So let us know where you are now and how's it looking, Alina?
Yeah, Brad, Ellen, we are on 75th and Antioch now, heading northbound on Antioch Street, or Antioch Road, excuse me. And right now, the roads are not looking awful. They've been plowed before. You know, the thing is, the good news is that the snow has stopped falling. So that means, obviously, the road conditions will not worsen in this area in particular, thankfully so. And it looks like traffic has been moving pretty smoothly. I know a lot of folks have been taking it slow and going a little bit slower than the actual speed limit. So as we've been telling everybody all morning and afternoon long, that just to be careful if you have to be out there. Of course, clouds have been out over the entire Overland Park area, Olathe, where we've been driving so far. It just looks like this is going to be the view that we've been seeing all through the last several hours. Back to you guys.
All right, Alina, thank you. In some places, like here at 31st and Summit, many drivers simply couldn't make it to the top of the hill because of all the stop-and-go traffic. But some good Samaritans stepped in to help them on their way, and that includes our own Nathan Vickers. And Nathan, you got quite the workout today.
You know, Brad, I grew up on a farm. I grew up getting stuck in the mud, getting stuck in the snow, and pushing a car out just didn't seem like a big deal, and it seemed like the right thing to do for us. This street has been terrible all day. This is 31st Street going by Sun. I'm going to have my photographer, Jeff, go down to the street for just a second. Now this is kind of slushy and wet, but it's not as slick, and cars are finally making it up the hill. But look at what has been going on all day long. People have been getting up the hill. Their tires start spinning. They can't go anywhere, so the car behind them stops. They can't go anywhere, then they start spinning. So it's just been this chain reaction. But these people have been stopping to help. There was a man who we saw throwing kitty litter down to help people gain traction. We also talked to a college student who had the day off class, so she just did what she could to help other people get out of the ditch. So I asked them, why did you stop to help?
Everybody stopping, people sliding, getting close to hitting people. No one can get traction, you know. Just trying to help people get up the hill so I can get to where I need to go.
Why wouldn't you help other people if you can?
What's it been like helping other people get out?
Very cold. The good thing is, though, a lot of people will stop to help. So the more people pushing one car, the faster you can get it up.
That was really great to see today, people working together to get those cars out of there, because it really made it easier with more hands. And honestly, keeping people moving helped kind of keep the whole thing moving today. So it was really good to see a lot of people pitching in here on this street. And it's looking pretty good now, and hopefully the plows will keep doing great work, and things will improve throughout the city. Reporting live in Kansas City, Nathan Vickers. Oh, yeah, Brad.
No, I was just going to say, that means, Nathan, now that that's cleared off there a little bit better and the treatment is working, you can at least take a break for the rest of the night. Nathan, you deserve it.
Thanks. Thanks, Brad.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Well, it has been a rough day for drivers all across the metro.
Boy, has it ever. Still ahead here at 6 o'clock, Overland Park Police share some of today's greatest hits and share some advice for drivers.
And tonight, for many drivers, the trip home remains a challenge. We'll have a live update on conditions out on the roads. Gary?
Well, the city just finished up with snow event number 1. Saturday brings snow event number 2. That's the one that's in the Rockies. It's a smaller system. But snow event number 3 is hitting the West Coast right now. I'll tell you what that one's going to do to your area roads in your Storm Track 5 forecast coming up.
Even for drivers who didn't have trouble navigating the roads, today still required a lot of patience. And our Caroline Sweeney has been out on the highways all day. And Caroline, it's definitely been one of those slow going kind of days.
Absolutely. You needed a lot of patience today. And even though Kansas City, Missouri encouraged businesses to let their employees go early to avoid the rush hour, the snow still got the best of some people on the roads. It even slowed the two of us down to a complete stop on the highway while we were working today.
Don't get in an accident.
The snow,
It's scary.
slowed everything down in Kansas City today. Semi-trucks at a standstill. Off-ramps around downtown closed. This is what I-670 looked like near Hy-Vee Arena, but it could have been confused for a parking lot. Car after car after car stopped on the highway, stalled by snow. It took us nearly 2 hours to get from western Lenexa to the downtown loop.
My job is to get us both home safe at the end of our shift.
KCTV5 News photojournalist Dwayne Crispel was driving all day, dealing with the changing weather with his hands on the wheel.
If you've ever put your hand on a waterbed before, or in like one of those little gel pillows, how your hands just kind of swish around, that's what it feels like on your steering wheel.
Now the traffic has gotten lighter and lighter throughout the day, and the visibility is much better than it was this afternoon because it stopped snowing in the Kansas City area. Live in Kansas City, Caroline Sweeney, KCTV5 News.
Glad you guys have been safe out there. Thanks so much. Now, many drivers found out too late just how slippery the streets had gotten. Overland Park's police chief shared this video from the city's traffic cameras. Look here. You can see a pickup T-bone another truck pulling a trailer that went through that red light there. These are only a couple of crashes, though, that were picked up here by some of those cameras. That guy just slides right into somebody else. It happened time and time again today. Here's another one. Yep, the guy just kind of slid off and ended up hitting a pole. Yeah. Just one of those days. Just awful.
You know, Gary, what surprised me about this snowstorm was that when it started snowing at my house right around 8:30 or so, it didn't take more than about a half hour before the streets were covered, driveways were covered. This snow came down fast and hard.
Yeah, it really did. And it's because it's such a light, fine, powdery snow, and the temperatures were just freezing cold. I mean, so far below freezing that not a single flake melted on impact, at least with the initial stage. A lot of times with snow, that first half inch will kind of melt away, so it kind of gives you an idea that it's about to accumulate. No, this accumulated from flake 1. And this is what's left on the ground in Lawrence. Snow has stopped here. There are still a couple of flurries. Every now and then I'll see a little flake fly by the camera, but there is no more accumulating snows in Lawrence. And the downtown area, same thing. Check this out. You can see the Crown Center area so easily now from this camera. And earlier this afternoon, obviously, you couldn't see a thing as the snow was really coming down. Live-powered Doppler radar. This will also verify the fact that that snow is now well east of Kansas City, all but the very, very farthest east portion of Jackson County now seen the last of the snowflakes fall, and this trend will continue all across the viewing area. So the entire 435 loop, outside of a few light flurries, has pretty much seen that snow end. That doesn't mean everything is hunky-dory outside. We still have some snow-packed roads, obviously, and that's even going to be the case by tomorrow morning. 14 is the temperature now. At least temperatures are holding steady for now. We're down to about 12 at 8, 11 at 9, and down to 10 degrees at 11. We should end up in single digits overnight at about 8 degrees with wind chills down below 0. That's your beginning temperature. By 9 o'clock, it's still only 12 degrees. Rough old morning to be out. 21 at 12, 25 at 4. Look when the afternoon high or daytime high hits at 27 degrees. That's not coming until after dark. As the next wave comes in, it actually kind of warms us up as that new storm system comes in. 60% chance for snow, but the Saturday snow looking much weaker. Watch it move in now, and most of the heavy precipitation stays north of Kansas City. You see a few of those lobes kind of pass through the city. That's our snow. So the city sees much less tomorrow night than what we picked up now. This is showing maybe 1.5 inches, and that is at Platte City in the airport area. South of the metro, less than 1 inch. The more accumulating snows will be found along and then north of Highway 36. So northern Missouri gets the snow on Saturday night for the most part. So that track definitely staying north of the metro. The moisture content is half or less than what this one was. And the ratio is also going to be smaller at about a 10-to-1 ratio. So the speed, Moderate snow for maybe an hour, and it may break that hour up into fractions, and then light for about 4 hours to follow. And that gives us a ½ inch on the south side of the metro to maybe 1.5 inches on the north side. Your Tuesday track. This is the bigger storm. It's the one that's just now hitting California, arriving in the middle of the afternoon, snowing basically all night, and then it will be tapering off by Wednesday morning, leaving behind, now get this, this could be one of the bigger snowstorms we've had so far this year if this verifies. Right now, the track has Kansas City getting hit pretty hard. I think that's a little bit high. That's my gut feeling. But I think we still see at least 4 inches out of that on Tuesday. Security Bank 7-day, bitter cold weekend, obviously. No break in this cold air until maybe Thursday. Friday looking to be a little warmer at 38 degrees. But that's going to be followed by another snowstorm Friday night. So, again, these storms just lined up one after the other.
Yeah, we just can't get out of winter's way right now. Thanks, Gary.
Okay.
Well, if you missed today's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful because of our extended weather coverage, don't worry because we have you covered. Set your DVR tonight for 1:37 a.m. Saturday, and you can catch the episode that you missed today.
Coming up tonight on KCTV5 News at 10 o'clock, a tropical trip on a cold winter night. The secret sitting under a Westport street. This week's Friday Night Flights with Brad is all new tonight at 10. Thanks for watching tonight at 6 o'clock.
We'll keep an eye on the streets for you and report back tonight at 10.